Welcome to Behind the Trigger, and today I'm going to talk real quickly about the Timney trigger and the YouDave trigger spring. And as you suspect, the Timney trigger is exactly what you expect. It is a very clean braking trigger with a really good adjustable trigger pull. So as advertised, you can easily get down to 10 ounces. Really easy to install. It's crisp. It's a really good trigger. Unless you're a real trigger snob, you won't even notice the amount of creep in the trigger. It's almost non-existent. It's a really good trigger. The biggest drawback to the trigger is just the sheer cost of the thing. Now, how does it compare to the YouDave trigger spring? As we all know, you can get this down to the Timney trigger down to 10 ounces, no problem. Well, the YouDave, I can get it, I've done about 6 of them so far, and you can get them down to 6 ounces with very little effort. The factory CZ457 is actually probably one of the better triggers that I've dealt with as far as the rifles go. With the addition of the YouDave trigger, you keep the same factory adjustability. The biggest drawback with the YouDave trigger spring is just the install. I think on average it takes me about 35 minutes to install one, and most of it's dealing with drifting the pin out, then lining everything back, lining the pin up and getting it back in place. But either way, you really can't go wrong, especially with the price tag of the YouDave trigger spring. If you have a little bit of know-how and some basic hand tools, you can easily upgrade your factory trigger and still have the adjustability. Now, yes, there's probably a little bit more creep with the factory trigger than the Timney trigger, but you still have the adjustability for the creep, pre-travel, over travel, and weight adjustment. Like I said, I can get it down to 6 ounces. The biggest factor into which one you should purchase comes down to your budget and your use for it. Now, if you're that extreme competition shooter, you might want to spring for the Timney trigger. I really don't see many advantages to the Timney trigger outside of the fact that it is really easy to install. So comes down to what your personal preferences are. Both of them, you can't go wrong. The one's a really simple drop in, so if all you need is a Torx bit and a drift punch to knock the pin out, and it goes in really easy. There's a little bit more work involved with the YouDave trigger spring. However, it is a fraction of the cost of the Timney trigger, and you still keep the factory adjustability. So the choice is yours. Either way, you can't go wrong. Till next time.